Hello, and thanks for joining us for the Friends of the Farm lecture series. My name is Candace Hawes. I want to thank all of our viewers and our customers from the pharmacy, the pottery, and the Natural Healing Center, as well as all of our friends for joining us from around the world. I'm really excited for our topic today. And before we get to that, I just want to encourage you guys all to watch us on YouTube and see some of our past episodes. We've got great ones on formulations, medical uses, scientific research, and also other great episodes with our guest speaker we have today, Lisa, on cannabis and creativity, voting with your dollar, and cannabis accessories. So please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also check out some of our great webinars. So today we're going to be talking about setting intentions for the new year and creating cannabis vision boards. This is a topic that I've been really excited to talk about. I have a lot of friends that have created vision boards over the years and have talked about how this has helped them to set positive intentions and to achieve their goals. If you've ever attended cannabis vision board parties in the past, or you've created one in the past, you know that it's really fun, it's really creative, and it's a great experience that you can do alone or with a group of friends. Setting intentions and creating vision boards helps you to identify your aspirations and to achieve them by creating a visual representation of what you want to do for the year moving forward. Our guest speaker today is Lisa Snyder, who's a master at creating vision boards, and it's one of her favorite things to do. So we're really excited to have her back here. Lisa is the co-founder of Tokeativity, the global feminist community for active cannabis culture, and also the founder of LI Digital. Lisa lost both her parents to cancer at an early age of 20s. So after that, she turned her attention to the women's liberation movement, and through cannabis normalization and adding a little bit of a feminist twist, she launched Tokeativity in 2017. She's a feminist, a business advisor, a digital artist, and a plant medicine advocate with over 25 years of digital strategy experience. She also just recently completed a really exciting psychedelic medicine course, which I'm really excited to learn about that. Maybe in a future webinar, we'll talk about that. But she's very passionate. She supports self-healing through consumption, plant medicine, advocacy, and digital liberation. She has been recognized for her work in Forbes, Rolling Stone, Condé Nast Traveler, and Yahoo Finance, among a couple. Thank you so much for being with us today, Lisa.
Thank you so much for having me back, Candace, once again, and hello, and shout out to everybody watching live and in the replay. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm really excited to talk about vision boards too. Like I said, I've had people in the past that have been like big, huge advocates of vision boards. I've seen, them on their walls, and they've talked about how it's really helped them, to achieve their goals and set positive intentions. And so I'm really excited to have you on today and to talk about, setting positive intentions for this new year and like tips for people on how to create vision boards. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. I am stoked to talk about this topic and to share with you how to create vision boards and what kind of intentions to be mindful of when creating vision boards. They're one of my favorite parts of the year, and I'm excited to share with you sort of how they've come into my life and how they can help you in your life. So, Candace did an amazing job with the introduction, so I'll skip all that fun stuff. I will share a little bit about Tokeativity. Tokeativity is a global community of plant medicine advocates that's rooted in feminism, launched in January 2017. We've worked to modernize consumption culture through interactive experiences and have hosted over 350 consumption events across the globe since 2017.
I love what you guys do. So I'm like, that's so cool.
Thank you. Vision boarding is really near and dear to me. It is definitely like an annual tradition. Tokeativity was born through vision boarding, New Year's Day 2025. This is a picture of our friends from this past year of vision boarding. We have it every year on New Year's Day. We have brunch. We let everybody smokes weed, and then we kind of get cracking with our vision boards. And we have stacks of magazines, and we just have so much fun. And then we go into the evening and we have dinner together, and it's it's just such a blast. And so the idea of Tokeativity surfaced from, the energy of being in the space, being with our friends, and really being mindful about what it is we're bringing into the new year. The year is this amazing time. New Year's is this amazing time where you leave the past behind and you start fresh. And every day is actually an opportunity to start fresh, but every year is also an amazing opportunity to start fresh with an intentional spirit and energy. So there's a picture from the first Tokeativity. It was a vision board workshop, kind of just translating the energy of that New Year's Day into this space. And we launched 5 days before the inauguration of our previous president. So there's like all this energy and spirit in the air, and a lot of really fun, like, oh my God, we're smoking weed together energy. So, so there's some pictures from that moment in time. And I really I'll show you my vision board that I made at the January 2015 New Year's, and I'll explain how Tokeativity kind of came about from the energy of the vision board.
That's cool.
But, so first, let's talk about what a vision board is, and more importantly, why does it work? I will say, and just sort of note, that I really just do think it's really fun to play with the universe's law of attraction. It's really when you work hard towards a goal, and you've worked on your own resistance and you're open to opportunities, it really makes things a lot easier to attract into your life. It is 100% up to you to notice them and to take action. But I really do think vision boards are such a powerful thing. So, what is a vision board? Okay, so we know people paste stuff on, a board, and they're dreams and stuff like that. But what is it actually? So, a vision board is a concrete visual picture of having or experiencing something that you truly desire. It's accomplished with gathering pictures, symbols, words, and photos related to your goal and attaching them to a surface. I like to use thick boards, but a friend of mine actually used a wine bottle last year. So you could actually make a vision board on anything. And what I like to do when I'm done with the vision board is I make it the background of either my phone and my laptop, or just my phone. So it's it's in more than one place, versus just having it in, the physical form. So think you can get creative with surfaces.
I really like that. I think that's really cool. That's a really cool idea. Even maybe a rolling tray or something, or
that could be fun.
Yeah, a bigger one, maybe a big wood one or something, But I like that. That's a really cool idea to make something different. Yeah.
Yeah, it is collage with intention. Collage is sort of bringing, pieces of magazines or pictures and cutting them apart and making them look like, something new. But vision boards are so much more than that. So, so how does the vision board work, and why is it so powerful? So a vision board is, let me go back to this slide for a second. A vision board is one of the most powerful methods of visualization really known to humankind. Visualization means to form a picture of something in your mind which is not in sight. And it's really important to know that us as human beings, we think in pictures. So we don't think in words or thoughts or feelings. We feel feelings. We don't think in feelings. We think in pictures. So to prove this to yourself, think about something without seeing a picture of whatever you're thinking of flash in your mind. You're really going to find this difficult to avoid. If you think of anything, it just flashes in your head like a picture first. So that's really a big, big piece of this, is our connection to our mind and our mindset with the physical world and the pictures that come with that physical world. So anything you do, whether it be getting a glass of water, painting a canvas, or achieving an Olympic medal, for example. I don't think any of us are trying to do that, but that's someone has to have a picture of something in their mind in order to achieve a mental picture. So, if you reflect on your life, you're definitely going to see this to be true. So by keeping a clear picture in your mind, you can achieve really anything that you desire. And vision boards work effectively because you're really concentrating and focusing your mental and psychic energies. So it really helps you to establish and sustain a clear picture of your objective. And we might have many objectives, and there are many different places in life that we want to, attract things, whether it be job, relationships, family, physical items, things that make your life easier or better. So it doesn't have to be in one particular category. So there are actually 3 scientific/spiritual laws of vision board success. The first one is you create your reality according to your beliefs about what is possible for you. So this means that your habitual thoughts and attitudes and beliefs set the boundaries for the things that happen to you in your life. You get to see what you are capable of getting. And, if it's really hard for you to think about the things that you dream about, and if you wonder if it's ever going to come true, it's going to be a harder to attract those things. So that really is being mindful about having limiting beliefs. And in order for this vision boarding to really work, you have to be able to believe that you can have what you want and be confident that you are deserving of what you want. And you can change your, experience by changing your belief in what is possible for you. Your life is really, really flexible and can be transformed by your thoughts.
Yep.
And positive thoughts and images create positive results.
It's true. It's very true. Those positive manifestations, if you talk to yourself with positive self-talk, you're going to feel better than if you are like always criticizing yourself and talking down to yourself. You're going to feel bad, So it's very, very true.
Yes. So a lot of this is being mindful before you even start cutting anything out. So number 2 is that there are no limitations on what you can have in life. Really, the universe is a place of unlimited abundance and good, and anything you want is waiting to be claimed by you through positive thoughts and visualizations. You are absolutely an integral part of the universe just by virtue of being here in this time space, right here, right now, and are absolutely entitled to have what you want as long as it harms no one else. That's really important. Many people don't believe that this principle is true. They think that there's not enough to go around. They are limited by the belief in scarcity. And some people think that there's only so much money in the world and that there's limited food, or that maybe only a few lucky people can truly be successful. So you really have to ask yourself if you are thinking this way, and do you hold your beliefs in scarcity? Thinking about that, because that really brings us to number 3, which is you deserve and are entitled to whatever you want in life. Many people think that they do not deserve what they truly want, and that they aren't good enough or worthy enough to get what they want. So whether it's the job you really want, or the love you really want, or the health you really want, perhaps you've done something in the past and have not forgiven yourself, or maybe you think that only good things happen to other people. Really be honest with yourself and tap in and ask yourself, are you believing this? Is this the way you think? And are you aligned with this in this moment in time? Because it is changeable but step 1 is actually being mindful about this. So, remember you deserve and are entitled to whatever you want. So there's nothing that is too good to be true.
Yep. I'm glad you brought that up. It's very powerful. It's true. It's very true. We all, deserve, to be on this earth and to have a good life. And, we can all get there. Sometimes it doesn't happen right away and we have to work towards that. But we all are deserving to have, what we want to achieve in life and to have peace and happiness and health and whatever you may put on your vision board that you want to obtain, everybody deserves this. I love that you included that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. It's so important because if you put something on there that you don't think you can have or you don't think you deserve, it's not coming to you. And so you got to do some of the inner work as you are doing this outer work, and it's a relationship with your vision board. So I want to talk about 5 common pitfalls of vision boards that we want to be mindful of. Number 1 is, because you will get what you want, be really careful what you ask for. So the best way to illustrate this is really to think back on your life and look at the things you wanted and then later regretted. So I'm sure we all can think of a handful of times we wanted something and then we absolutely regretted what we got. So really ensure that this is going to be good for you in the long term, and really be mindful about that. Number 2 is, never make a vision board for the purpose of causing harm to others. So because by doing so, you actually set up the conditions for the harm to come to you. Mm. Number 3 is, if you have a health issue, please be sure to get proper medical attention. You can use your vision board as an aid to speed your recovery, but you cannot get it to absolutely heal your physical ailments. So please make sure that you are taking care of yourself in that aspect. Number 4 is really to come at this with a relaxed, focused attitude. It's really the key to success. So release any anxiousness about achieving your goal. And in a little bit, we're going to do a visualization. I think it's really going to help you kickstart your vision board, whether you're starting tonight or you're setting aside some time to do this. And I will talk about the tools in a little bit. And the last thing here is, really be careful about sharing it with others in your life until you've received what you want. This is kind of, I find, to be really as important as the first 4 of these things, because some people's energy may negate your vision. If you have anybody in your life that's I don't know about that, or kind of has a negative attitude that might sway you energetically about how you feel about what you're trying to create, that can take away from the energy they're trying to put out. It really does scatter the concentration of power and the psychic energy that you really need to create the results. Of course, I'm very mindful. I'll share mine with my wife once I feel like I'm ready to share it, but I and of course she's going to see it every day because it's in her space. But I do try to be really mindful about that until, it's over. That time period's over, I guess.
Yeah. And people, like you said, that you feel truly do support you and love you and and care about you and your vision, not people, like you said, that are going to criticize you or, try to ruin that sacred space and try to make you feel like you don't deserve the things that you're wanting. So I think that's very important.
Yeah. Or make fun of you, know, or anything like that. It just, be mindful about who and where you share it with. So, let's talk about some vision board logistics and best practices. And then I'll share with you a couple of vision boards, and we'll, if anybody has any stories they want to share, whether you're live or we'll probably share a story or two. We'll, we could do that together. So the things that you are going to need, first of all, you're going to need a surface to do this. I really like a thick board, and I go to my local art store, and I like the square ones because to me, they just fit nicely in places. I guess mine are a little bit more wide than they are tall. So, but it needs to be thick enough so that it's going to stand up somewhere or hold up when you put your Mod Podge on. And I'll talk about Mod Podge if you don't know what that is. But you want it to be thick enough. And so I love a thick board, or like I said, you can play with other surfaces. And Candace had a cool idea about putting it on a rolling tray. Or a wine bottle or a box. If you have like a cool box that you want to like you keep all your stash in or something like that,
Yeah.
that's a place for a vision board too. So some other things you're going to need, you're going to need some scissors. I recommend, if you really want to go hog wild on this, 2 different kinds, one that are big and like really chunky and like kind of can get like stuff done fast that are sharp. And then if you're a detail kind of person, tiny ones like that can kind of get around things. And so depending on your level of like design, that's really up to you. You're going to need some magazines. I recommend ones that you can let go of. When I first started Tokeativity, I put it out on Craigslist. I'm like, I'm looking for magazines. And there was like so many people that were like, take these. I still have them. I collect them still. They do take up some space, but but then again, I have these vision board parties, so they come in handy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is a nice benefit of doing these parties is that everybody can bring a couple different magazines, ones that call to them, like ones about travel destinations and healthy living and cannabis magazines, and then you guys can all have different ones to share between, and then throughout the year you can pick up magazines too, like, oh, this has a lot of things that reflect what I would like to see next year, and you can start to collect those in anticipation of like next year's vision board.
Great ideas. I'm also a big fan of the Oprah O magazines because there's just like so much inspiration and it's like all positivity and like, really can really help you build upon your vision board.
That's cool.
So I'm talk about Mod Podge. Candace, do you know about Mod Podge? You use Mod Podge?
I've heard of it, but I've never really worked with it. So okay. I'm excited to kind of hear some tips.
I love this medium so much because it kind of works like a glue on the back, but also as like a sheer glue on the front. And so what you do is you take a foam brush like that, and you can, I like to use little cups instead of dipping right in the Mod Podge. A little cup, like a paper cup or whatever kind of cup you can rinse out really easily. It looks like thick white glue. And what you do is... let's see, do I have an example here? Here we go. So I actually put Mod Podge all over this, and it does get the like paper a little wrinkly, like the magazine, it can get a little wrinkly. However, it does dry clear, and it lets your magazine like edges, like they're down there, not like flopping around and kind of like how I think sometimes vision boards can get that like get all kind of like crinkly and like weird and like up folded. And this is a collage tool, and it kind of brings it all together. And they come in all kinds of sizes, and you could definitely find something like this at Michael's or online or something like that. I have a big ass jug that is just almost done, and I've had since 2017. It's like a gallon that I've used, and then I have like smaller ones, and then there's like little ones. Some people like glue sticks, although I find them to be like not, eventually they don't get sticky, or if your place gets hot, like if you're in California, that glue can kind of come undone, and then like your vision board isn't like together anymore. So
how long does Mod Podge usually take to dry and to go into like its clear state? Is it like an overnight kind of drying process?
So fast. It's like 5 minutes.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah. It's really fast, and it's really fun, and you almost feel like, oh my God, am I going to mess stuff up? But like, I mean, again, if you can kind of be okay with a little bit of like wrinkle here and there, you can, put it on top. Some people, you can experiment with it if you're kind of like nervous about, maybe you have pictures that you don't want to like mess up, play around with what it feels like, any medium for that matter, and on something that you don't care about that much, and then get to know it a little bit. But it's really one of my favorite things because it's so fun for collage.
That's cool.
So I want to show you a few examples, and then we're going to do a visualization. So this is a vision board that I did at my first vision board party that I had at our house, January 2015. And we had just moved to Portland. I'm originally an East Coaster. And I was feeling like I wanted to try something new. I was like, everything is pretty much new. So I'm I'm a freshman in this moment here in this new city, and I really want to try something new. And so when I saw the words "try something new" here, um, I cut it out. And so one thing to be mindful of was like the process. So you've got the tools. It's like, what is the process? Candace and I were kind of talking a little bit beforehand about, what we've done before, and she's got a vision board that she might show us, um, where when you're looking through magazines, um, when you feel like something is calling out to you because it matches your energy field or because it matches your vision of what you want to bring in or because you like what it says, you don't know if you're going to put it on your vision board or not. Just cut it out or rip it out of the magazine and put it aside to then cut out later, because the fun part of putting this together is like putting the pieces together. And so I actually really like to start with backgrounds and then build on top of the backgrounds. And I got, you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, I found like a cool, like teal and pink visual, which I'm like, I'm not trying to play the ukulele or whatever, but like, I just like the colors. And I like the way they feel when I look at the colors. And so that's why that's there. And so, you can find your own things that make you happy and feel good when you're like doing this. But I really love to start with backgrounds and like cool patterns and stuff like that. And I this is like evolved in my relationship with doing vision boarding. But so other visions and things I kind of I did a lot more feelings, as you can see. I found a can that said air on it, and I was like, I'm not trying to get a can of air. I'm trying to feel like air. You know what I mean? Yoga poses. I'm like, okay, I love doing yoga. I always kind of fall off the wagon and I'm like, yeah, I should do yoga, and then I never do it. So I'm like, that was my little reminder. I am an event organizer, and I put organizer on here because I'm just like, I'm probably going to organize something here. I don't know what. I'm not really sure exactly what. Keep calm and design on. Again, it's about feelings for me, and it's about like what it is I like wanted to do, and remind myself that I am a designer and that I'm like, that's going to come into my life. I guess like, before I move on to the next example, the thing in Portland about trying something new is it helped me to remind myself to try new things, and to be open to new things. And so where it says just open it, alive and intimate, people, places, events and openings. This was like, again, I'm like, I wanted to be in the energy of events. I wanted those events to be alive and intimate. Again, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew how I wanted to feel. I wanted to feel the warmth, that light bulb at the top that's like shining down on everything. Feel the warmth of a light bulb. Like that's what I want to feel. So, and I really wanted to find the word courage and I couldn't find it. So I just wrote it on there, So this is just an example. But like what came from this vision board was me finding the energy and spirit and people and alignments that helped me to start Tokeativity, and kind of became this ritual of intention, intentional spaces, intentional experiences, and intentional feelings. And it all started at vision boarding.
That's so cool. I love it. And like it really, all these things that you put on this board really did manifest in Tokeativity. It's really, really cool to see how this kind of came to be in real life.
Yeah. And it's so funny because the color teal is on here twice, and I love the color teal, and I ended up like when branding it, like pick that color because it wasn't like a weedy green, and it wasn't like a poshy pink. It was like this color that kind of felt feminine but not too foofy, and I like looking at it. But that's actually kind of the color scheme where it came from.
Yeah, and it came from your vision board too. That's really cool.
Yeah. Here's another example. This was my 2018, I think it was my New Year's 2018. And this was like, okay, I'm trying to obviously attract some money into my life. And so I made the entire background. I printed this out. And this is something that you can do. If you cannot find a visual, look for it on the internet and print it out. Or type out the words you want and print them out. You don't have to like find it in a magazine, and you can kind of like put it together like ransom letter style, you know, with the letters. But if you can't do it and you just want to kind of like do your own thing, you can do that. So yeah, so I was like wanting to track some money, and I put like money in the background and wealth as the focal point. And I obviously was like doing a lot of cannabis stuff, and so that was literally my center point. But like this psychic energy of all perspectives, I guess, is something I wanted to feel, and spreading happiness. I was really advocating a lot that year for voting for cannabis banking, which we all know is like, maybe you don't all know, I don't know. In the industry, it's really challenging banking. So I was like, what if I wasn't just for me that I'm putting visions on? I'm putting it out there for my community and my like whatever, the people in my life. So I was experimenting with that and what that felt like. What else? Okay, so this is actually a big thing. On the right-hand side, I found this like woman that like has all these men on a balloon. And as a feminist, I really thought this was really funny because we were, for the first time ever, about to do an event where we invited men into our women-centered events in a very intentional way, and we called it "The Future is One-to-One." And we know from experience, maybe you know through the webinars here, that one-to-one ratios are about, you know, a little bit of CBD and a little bit of THC. And so so I was gearing up to do that, and it was really like challenging for me because I knew that like this is going to be inviting in maybe people who don't understand what we're doing, or I don't know. Like I just wasn't sure. It was like a lot of uncertainty. And so to ground myself in the energy of that, I just kind of put, you know, something about the future and unveiling the future. And it was really about the future as one-to-one, knowing that that event was going to happen, and I was going to put a lot of psychic energy into that. And there's also, it's hard to see here, but you can, there's like it's also another event specific like energy field around those visuals. And then last one here I wanted to share with you is, this was my 2022. This is my 2022 vision board, and I continued to dial in my backgrounds, as you can see, where I was like getting like, you know, cool swoopy things. The color schemes are kind of going together, even though I got them in different places. And really, I was focusing on, you know, the idea of endless possibilities, connection, romance, traveling, fitness for fun. Who does that? I don't know. Some people do. But what really actually happened with this, I mean, I did end up going on vacation. I mean, you know, like that can happen with a lot of specifics. However, this is when NFTs were kind of like still a thing, where people were like, they were really big and they were getting really big. And I really wanted to make them. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I've never done this before. It is brand new, but I want to do this. Mm-hmm. And so I had this vision board. I thought about it all the time. And then one day I got a random email from an amazing woman who I met through ArcView, and she was like, hey, I'm looking for an NFT artist. Do you know anybody? And I was like, what are the odds of her randomly telling me looking for an NFT artist? And so I was like, you know, I'm a digital artist and I would love to give this a try, and here's some like other things that I've done. And they ended up saying yes. And so I ended up working on my first ever NFT project, and I could not believe that this vision board helped me to focus on bringing that into my life. So that was pretty cool. And then, I mean, the crypto market is, you know, crazy and so majorly down. But at the time, it was majorly up and it was very popular. And I really wanted to like buy Bitcoin. I didn't know how to do that. And I figured out how to do it, and I figured out how to buy a bunch of other altcoins. And this was helpful for me to kind of like think about embracing an investment portfolio that, you know, expanded in other directions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I love that.
those are my vision boards I wanted to share with you that are, you know, some things came to fruition, and some intentions around that. Any thoughts before we do this visualization?
Yeah, I mean, I love that. And I think it's really cool too, when you put it on something nice, like you said, like a canvas, something hard that you can keep for years, that you can, you know, keep these and hang them up in your house. And you can look back and see like the themes throughout your life. And, you know, in this period of my life, I was really focused, you know, on growth and career. And then, you know, look, you know, 6 years down the road, you know, I had obtained those things. And then now I'm focused more on like family, or, you know, maybe it's health or it's spirituality, or, you know, whatever it may be. But you can really kind of see like the different chapters in your life. And, you know, it's really cool to look back to and to see like the things that you accomplished and how, you know, powerful really like a positive mindset and intentions really are. It's really kind of cool. So, um, I'm really, you know, just excited about this, and I hope everybody else is too. And they just like can't wait to get to their scissors and glue and get one started, or call their friends and get a party together and stuff. Um,
Yes.
yeah, and I've even started on my own too. I'll just kind of show everybody just real
Yeah.
briefly, and it's just a start, and it's kind of hard to see. I apologize, but you know, my vision this year too is sort of like you just. I didn't even talk about this, but mine is more about feelings too. If I back up a little bit, but I've got, you know, some pictures of like I picked like Hawaii where my family lives, you know, because I really love like the peace I get there and the calmness and like the slow pace of life, and just, you know, living off the land, like, and just, you know, appreciating people and spending time together. And then I have words like, you know, grow and escape to tranquility, and like elevate and happy, inspired, you know, reconnecting. And then they also like at the bottom is justice, you know, because I very much still also, you know, as much as I believe in like all these things, for me, I'm still like a big part of me is like about justice and, you know, advocating for others and making sure that, you know, the world is as fair as it can be. So this is just like a beginning. And again, like, it's just taped on there right now for like these purposes, so I can show it to you guys. But like, just like you said, you know, it's all about just like going through these different magazines and starting to cut out things that called to me. And so as I start to find more things and put this all together, you know, some of these things might get removed or replaced, but I'm just finding that I'm very excited to make it, and you know, it's going to be a great guide to me and a great comfort, you know, when I'm kind of struggling at times. And I like how you mentioned, you know, that, you know, we are all worthy of these things that we want, you know, and just remember that. So it's really cool.
Thank you for sharing about your vision board and what you're trying to attract, and it looks really cool. And that's actually kind of a cool idea too. It's like before committing to where something is, you can place it on your
Mm-hmm.
vision board and play around. Like you can tape it down or not. I
Mm-hmm.
actually love doing this because like I set the background and then I kind of decide and I commit to the background and then I Mod Podge and then I go through a second wave of like, okay, I'm moving stuff around. And I do this. It's so fun. It's so fun. Get really, really stoned, listen to some jamming music, invite some friends or do it solo. I do think it's really fun and such a cool connector to invite friends over for this and to give yourself plenty of time. And when I say plenty of time, in the
Yeah.
workshops that we did in person, we had at least 3 hours to do it because it really will help you to focus on like getting it done. And if you get interrupted or you don't get it done, make a date with yourself to finish. I know too many people
Yes.
who start the vision board, they don't finish, and then like suddenly it's March and they're like, oh yeah, my vision board. Um, and here's another thought too. Um, you can do this quarterly. You
Mm-hmm.
can do this, of course, you can do this every year. You can do this quarterly. You can do this around a certain part of your life. Like if you're really trying to attract more money or attract like a new relationship or, a new job or whatever, you can do it just around that part. You don't have to like put it all together in one big picture if that calls to you.
Yeah, I like that. Like if you're thinking about like a career change, maybe you start with a vision board. Like what do I want my new career to be? Like what do I want to do? Where do I want to work? Do I want to be in an office out in you could start a vision board just about where you see yourself in a career. And it might help you kind of figure out like what kind of positions that you want to apply for. So, yeah, I like that idea of just doing something like more specific. It's a great idea. It's almost like a visual way of like brainstorming, instead of just writing things down, you're doing it visually. And like you said, a lot of people think that way anyway. So, um, you can just think back to your vision board in your mind instead of this list where we can't remember all these 30 things anyways, but you can remember a picture in your mind or an overall feeling that these collection of pictures gave you, and it brings you in the right direction. So.
Exactly. Exactly. I think this is a good segue to a visualization.
I think so too.
So, I'm going to ask everybody to kind of just like get a little bit more comfortable, like, move around in your chair a little bit, or if you're sitting on the ground or on the couch or at your desk, kind of just like get your sits bones kind of like grounded and put your feet on the ground. And I'm going to ask everybody to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's just do that one more time. You already know how to get what you want because you have done it before. Remember something important that came to you that was unexpected, that you weren't sure you could have or didn't know how to get. Maybe it's a job or a relationship or getting into school, buying a house, signing a lease on an apartment, or any other achievements. Pick one thing and watch the scenes of how it came to be. Who were the people in the chain? What were the random happenings or information that came to you? What were the steps that you took or the efforts that you made? Remember what these things felt like and looked like. Remember what it felt like when you achieved that goal. Now think about something you want right now. What is it that you have wanted to bring into your life that is yet to show up? Where are you? What do you see? Who do you see? How do you feel? Sit with that for a minute. Hold that energy inside you. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes, knowing full well you are already capable of bringing these things into your life.
That was really nice. I like that. I feel like when I need this, I'm gonna rewatch this webinar and just listen to your visualization because that was so powerful, and it's almost one of those things that's like meant to be, because there's some things that I've been wanting and thinking and setting intentions for, and it's almost like the things that you were saying were like all these things that I've been wanting and thinking about in my own life. You were saying a lot of things that were, along those same lines. So that was really helpful. Thank you. I really, really enjoyed that. And we're seeing people too that are on the chat, and they're saying very powerful visualization. And someone saying the same thing, that they had already been thinking about things that they wanted, and like the visualization, that you had been leading us through, had, them thinking the same things, kind of been bringing them through the same steps of, they know what they want. They've done, they've achieved things that they wanted before. You know what you need to do. How are you going to feel when you achieve it? And kind of gave you that energy. You contain that energy inside you now. Go and do it, Very powerful. That was really amazing. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, you're
You have a lot
welcome.
of a lot of people in the chat saying, agreeing to that as well. So that was really wonderful. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I'm getting goosebumps right now, and I think one of the most powerful things when I first did this exercise a couple of years ago was like, there are so many things we've already done,
Mm-hmm.
and how did we actually achieve those things? And now it's time for some new things.
Yeah.
And so how are we going to achieve those things? And visualizing the steps and the people, maybe it's an unknown face, but you're like, I know the energy of that person. And the cool thing is that once you've practiced how it feels, when you meet that person, or when you get that email, or when you get that feeling, um, you're going to have way more information about, this is in alignment with what I want, because it feels the way I want to feel. That is the most important information that we could possibly have, is that it feels aligned with what we are trying to feel. And I really very much look forward to, if anybody wants to reach out, I'll put my contact information. It's on one of these next slides. Reach out and tell me how it went. And like, if you want to share anything about your journey, about your past experiences, about intentions you set, and maybe later this year you hit me up and you're like, Lisa, oh my God, that visualization, whatever. I'm totally down for this. I love this work.
Yes.
And I'm really stoked for how your life unfolds with your intentions that are specific for you.
Yeah. I as well. I would love to hear, some of your guys' feedback. But yeah, this has been wonderful.
So, in regards to your vision boards, yeah, V says sometimes we must learn to get out of our own way, for sure. Um, we're not doing vision boards together here live. However, I do encourage you, like I said, to set some time, about 3 hours at least, or maybe a lazy afternoon on a weekend or an evening. This is such a great way to unwind too. And if if you have the space and time, and you're like, this is going to be my weekly project, or my project of the week, you can set up your stuff on a table and like come back to it each night and have it be kind of like your medicine.
Mm-hmm.
If that's something of interest.
Yeah, and cannabis medicine helps you kind of get in touch with yourself too, and to do these vision boards. It's a great accompaniment to it as well.
Yeah, Patty says I'll be rewatching this one for sure.
Yeah. Same thing, going back to that segment, just listening to that visualization. It was great.
Yeah. Any other thoughts or questions before we,
I don't see any in the Q&A right now. But yeah, this is I mean, some thoughts I have. I mean, are we going to talk about stories next, or would this be a good time to maybe share
this is
some
a great time for a story. Share a story.
Yeah. I know we had talked about this before, and I couldn't think of any off the top of my head. But I have a good friend who does cannabis vision boards every year, and she's definitely achieved some things, that were very high level. That she even probably thought were like unobtainable, and that she was able to accomplish. And she put things along that line on her cannabis vision boards, and just kind of pushed for things that were above like her skill level, but she knew that she could do it, and her vision boards are all about, like reaching new levels and pushing yourself, and um, trying new things, and she was able to get this new job in this, new kind of career path, and she's so excited, so I think that that was a manifestation of her vision board. And then we also mentioned before, be careful what you ask for. And I have this one friend who had a vision board, and it was like all sorts of like hunky men, and all she wanted this year was to like get a guy, and then she ended up getting a guy. Unfortunately, was like not the kind of guy you want, and kind of like her whole year was just kind of like, a little bit, more traumatic, drama than she would have wanted, So yeah, be really, cautious of what you do ask for and what you put on that vision board. Like maybe it's not just like the hot guy with the abs, but maybe it's like a partner that can support you and, that will love you, and, think about what you really are asking the universe for, because it will deliver.
It does deliver. That's a great story, and it's reminding me of something that we were, I shared with you before we hopped on here, but I want to share with everybody who's watching. Is I had somebody who put a piggy bank on a vision board with like someone dropping coins into it, and for them at the moment in time, that was about saving money. That like that mindset. However, that particular visualization for this particular person reinforced literally pennies, dimes, and nickels being saved and not larger amounts of money because of this like reinforcement of piggy bank and dropping coins into a place. And like for them, that visual didn't quite work or do that level of like feeling matching what they were really wanting.
Yeah.
So this is really important when you're putting stuff on there to check in with yourself, see how it feels before you put it on there, and be really mindful about it.
Yeah.
Um,
So sometimes if something's maybe close enough, but not what you want, maybe you don't want to put that on there necessarily. Maybe you, again, like you said, go on the internet and find something that's exactly what you're manifesting. Or maybe you draw it on there yourself, or maybe you write it on there, in your own words, like you want to make sure that what you put on your board is actually what you are manifesting and setting intentions for.
Very much so. And I didn't say this during this earlier, but I do. This is something I added to my last year's one, um, which is not done when manifesting. So I'm not going to share it quite yet, but in the future, I'll be happy to share this vision board with everybody. But at the very top, I wrote this and printed it because my life coach really is very much about aligning yourself with the universe's energy so that it understands you and it understands gratitude and love. And so it says, I'm so happy and grateful now that at the very top. And then everything else is kind of on the vision board. So now I'm trying to hone in with my everyday being grateful, every day being happy and joyful that I'm now insert, beautiful, amazing things happening here. So I think that's a good place to say thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing, your wisdom with cannabis vision boards, and, the tips and the tricks that really have helped you have success with setting intentions and, manifesting positive things in your life and creating these cannabis vision boards that can help you, achieve those things. And, it really is about just, being positive, having positive self-talk, and, realizing that we all are capable of achieving our dreams. It doesn't happen fast, and it does take a lot of hard work. Like you said, things are presented, but you have to be able to realize them, and to act on them, for them to happen for you. So I've learned so much today. So thank you so much for being with us today.
You're welcome. And I want to just say one thing and one comment because this is actually kind of interesting. You said it takes hard work and it doesn't happen fast. And I want to challenge that and say it can happen fast and it can be easy. It can be way easier than
That's true. It can be both.
it can be both. It can absolutely be both. And I mean, it depends on where your mindset is, but I've definitely seen things manifest pretty quickly when I've been like in alignment. And that is not with everything. There are things that I'm definitely challenged with. And I have to really look at the resistance around and being very mindful about putting things in the positive, because if you put things in the negative, the universe only understands the positive. So it will switch it around and be, if you focus on what you don't want, it'll bring you what you don't want. So always be mindful about um, shifting that into like what you want, and to know it can be easy, and that some things can be quick too. So
Yeah.
just want to say
And
that.
you are correct. You are correct. I shouldn't say everything takes hard work because it doesn't. But I guess there's certain things, and depending on what you want, like if you want something that's like a major career change, and you might have to go and go back to school for a couple years. If it might mean like a major move, some things could take work, but some things you're right may not. So that you are right that I should not say that it all takes hard work because some things can be much quicker. So I'm glad that you did clarify that because I don't want to make everybody think that all of it's going to be hard work because it's not.
And a book recommendation, just in case you're curious about more like law of attraction, anything by Abraham Hicks. There's all kinds of audiobooks if you're into that. I'm very much into that, and physical books if you're more into that. That is really where the energy of the law of attraction has next leveled in its ability to be communicated clearly, in my opinion. So if you're interested in more information about the law of attraction, check out Abraham Hicks.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great suggestion. I typed that in for the chat. And yeah, we had somebody else that's watching and they're saying, they're manifesting for like, for their health. And I totally agree with that. Um, yeah, thank you all so much for being with us today. I hope that you've enjoyed this webinar as much as I have and that we've been able to help you become better informed cannabis consumers, have a happy and healthy year, and that you all still stay happy, healthy, and have a great year. And we look forward to seeing you next episode of the Friends of the Farm lecture series. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.